Hello guys, and welcome to the first part of our tutorial mission of WolfPact. I said to you in the last video that I didn't know a great amount of history about the German U-boats. I've decided that I'm going to do a bit of research on each of the subs we have. So just a basic understanding of what they did during the World War II. The U-96, it covered during the war. I'm just looking through the history as well to get some dates and bits. But the U-96 was actually commissioned on the 14th of September 1940. It was it first set sail to start its battle against the British. It did up to 11 patrols during its time served during the war. After its 11th patrol, it went to a training vessel, and then she was decommissioned on the 15th of February 1945. So it's a bit of a basic history. There's probably more to read into it. I will put a link to this sub in the bottom of the video once we finish, so if anybody wants to interest in reading into it. But I thought I'd just find out a bit of history about each of the subs. I know each one's got a bit of history. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to do helm cover today as our part 1 of our tutorial. So I've selected the helm position on our ship and off we go. Okay, we're now on our board our submarine, and like I said, we spawned right in front of our helm control. So this will be quite a short video. It's not a lot to explain. I'll go over what gauges the helm needs to look after and or where helm can operate on the different parts of the U-boat. Anyway, so to get started, the U-boat has 2 engines. We have one on the port, one on the starboard. As you can see here, they are colour coded with red and green for starboard. So it just makes it a bit easier to explain when we're taking control. So if we're set down here on the main control, we can see that red on the left, red on the left, and green on the right. So to operate the sub, at the moment we are full stop. We've got no engines running. It's all quiet, as you can hear in the background. We are surfaced, so first of all we're going to switch to our diesel engines. We can do this by clicking on the relative areas of the thing. If we click once, that's engine 1. If we click on the other side, that's engine 2. We can also hold shift, and that will change both engines at the same time, as you can see. Okay, so you just had both engines start up in the background. What this does basically is that the helmsman will select a position to operate the sub, and this will be sent to the engine room, which then they'll do what's been asked to be done, and then they will relay back. So basically, the needle on the outside basically indicates that that's what we want to do. We want to change our speed to reverse or forward. Once engine room have confirmed that that's what we're doing, the center needle here will then indicate to the area where it's swinging. And for some reason this one hasn't gone into diesel engine. I don't know what's going on with engine 2. I don't know if we've got a bug here. This is not a good start, is it? Let me try oh, there we go. Okay, I don't want to click on diesel engine for some reason. Let's see if we can go half speed. Okay, one of our engines started. As you can see, we're drifting a little bit because this engine hasn't started, so I don't know why this is happening. I might have to restart. Okay, I'm just going to switch. There we go, I've just gone to electric engine. I'm just going to switch back to diesel. There we go. And up to half. Are we going to be able to continue? There we go, we've got both engines up and running this time. What a pain that was. Okay, right, we can carry on explaining everything. So, as I explained, you've got your port and starboard engine here. So the way to operate this is like I explained. The outer needle is what we indicated to the engine room. When the engine room acknowledges it, they will then switch to the inside needle, which then will point to wherever we're in. So if we change, saying that we want to go full speed, the engine room will acknowledge and they'll switch to full speed. So it's quite self-explanatory. If we've got diesel engines and we're on the surface, we can reach up to about 18.5 knots. We can push it. I have seen it go up to 19 before. So we can, you know, we're at full speed on our diesel engines. You can see our speed is climbing. We're just passing 15 knots now. So it's quite self-explanatory. We've got the different speed levels. We've got dead slow, we've got slow speed, half speed, greater speed, and full speed. So if we wanted to, for instance, we wanted to go alongside a convoy to try and get their speed, we can do this by, we could switch to dead slow, for instance, and if we wanted to go even slower, we can switch to both engines 10 slower. That will then slow us right down. This will take a while to get back down, but I'm just going to explain. Basically, this will bring us right down to about 4.5 knots, if I remember rightly off the top of my head. I'm just guessing right now. But we want to go slower, but we want to still carry on going forward. We can do this by achieving, we can click attention, and we can go back 10 slower. And as you can see on the RPMs here, they drop a little bit at a time. We can do that up to 10 times, so we can go to attention and 10 slower, and the engines will drop that little bit more, as you can see. So we can do that up to 8 times to get the sub to go as slow as we want. We can also do that on electric engines when we're dived as well. But basically, so our captain's ordered us to dive, so we're going to switch to electric engines, and then we're going to go back to whatever speed he says afterwards. And then, as you can hear, the diesel engines have cut out, electric engines have cut in, and then we've got to keep an eye on the ampage or our battery power here. At the moment it's full. This does drain at full speed very quickly, so normally you don't really travel at full speed on electric engines, but it has been known to happen occasionally. But you will notice that the battery will drain very quickly as it goes, as we're at full speed. So that's the basics of this control. If we've been dived for a while and we need to charge the engines, what we'd do is we'd click to back on electric engines once we've surfaced, and then we can click charge batteries. As easy as that. And then our diesel engines will kick in, which I'll air in a second. Any minute. There you go. And then now our batteries are being charged. Once our batteries are charged, we can then continue onto our course. So moving on. So you understand how to work these. Down here we have our rudder control, our heading and our speed, so we can see all that when we click here. It's really easy. You can turn the rudder up to 35 degrees left or right. So if we want to turn, we can just press A or D, and that will give us a left turn. If we press D, it'll then go to the right. Really simple. And if we press W, that will just take us back to 0 and keep us straight ahead. Our compass works on, for the people that are not quite sure about how this works, our compass works on a 360 degrees, so it's like a perfect circle. The outer layer won't move during the manoeuvre, it'll always face north on here, but we have an indicator to say that, sorry, I'm saying it doesn't turn, it does turn, but very slowly. So if we wanted to turn, as you can see, there's a needle just at the top. I can't quite see it without coming off it, but there's a needle just here which never moves. That to indicates what direction we're facing at the moment. So we're just passing 0 to 0, and we're continuing our turn. The inner circle is basically the 1 degree of a turn. So once we hit, like, we're coming up to 40 now, so once it hits 0 in the centre, that's 41, 42, 43, and so forth. So basically it gives you that extra degree if we need to make an heading of 042, for instance, we can do that. So like again, that's quite simple. There's not much to go into it. During if you've got a full crew on and you've got a really good navigator that's navigating your ship on the water and things like that, the helmsman is responsible for really smooth turns. When you're turning the sub, we don't want to be if we go to, I'm going to go full left rudder now. We want to be stopping on exactly on the area we need to be stopped. So the captain's orders to go on a course of let's say 020. So we want to stop bang on 020. So what we'll do is we'll wait till it comes around. And just passing 030 now. So we want to stay dead on. So we need to make sure that we can turn the engines. It's a bit rubbish on that turn, but we've basically stopped over. What we don't want to be doing is when we're making a turn is we don't want to be going full rudder, and then when it's coming close to where we've got to stop, we don't want to be going, oh wait a minute, let's stop there, just wait till it come around a little bit more, then do it again. That is a really bad turn, and it makes it harder for the navigator to navigate on the map what position we're at when we do things like that. So it's good to get in practice of to stop bang on where you need to be stopped. If you're going to do a turn at 50 degrees constant, leave it throughout the turn until you hit where you need to be. Try not to increase it or decrease it during the turn. It's always good practice to get into. And also, one of the most important things is not to change the speed during the turn. Again, I'll explain it more on the navigation side, but it just makes it harder for the navigator to plot a course. I will demonstrate that and the reasons why that happens. So that's the basics of actually driving the sub. Oops, wrong button. Oh, and I'm setting off the alarms. So I forgot to explain here, we have the RPMs for engine 1 and 2. I don't know why they're above the dive plane. It's just a good place to have it, I suppose. But anyway, moving up, we've got the navigation's got his own compass as well, so we know what heading we're on here. Also through the engine, through to the radio room, they have a course. Oh no, they don't have a course. I thought they did. My fault. Anyway, they've got to know what turns we're on and what the RPM of the engines are in here as well. I thought they had a compass in here, but I guess not. My mistake. They'll have it on the hydrophone. They can see what heading we're on anyway. So if we go up the ladder, we've got exactly the same controls here. The only thing we don't have is we don't know what battery charge we're on, and we don't know what speed we're doing on these controls. But it's handy for the helmsman to come and help out, to use the torpedo data computer, so it makes it easier. You can switch between the two when he's making manoeuvres, but it's the same principle. You can go left and right here, and you can change the speeds from up here as well. And one last position we have is if we go to the bridge, we also have a rudder control here, which is just only rudder control, and we can turn the ship here as well. So that's basically helm control. There's not a great deal to it. There is a lot of responsibility in it. You know, when the captain needs to make a turn, you need to be ready to make the turns. Well, there's another compass just here as well. So yeah, that's about it really on that one. It's like I say, it's a quick video. There's not a lot to understand. Anything that people struggle with, just let me know. Drop a comment below. I'll do the best to explain it. If there's a lot I've missed, I will then I'll just redo a new video maybe, and re-upload it and replace the one that I've done now. I hope that everybody understood in quite basic terms. Again, just comment below if you didn't understand anything during the video, and I hope you have a good time, guys, and good night. This video will be uploaded later on today, and that's about it really, and hopefully tomorrow I'll have the next part of the tutorial. I'm hoping to cover all the dive systems, so it's going to be quite a I won't say a long video, but you know, there's quite a few different areas for the dive plane to go on. So that's it, guys. I hope you all have a good night, and happy hunting. Thank you very much.